share in the Word of God on today. I want to preach, ladies and gentlemen, from the book of Genesis. That's not too hard for you to find. You should have gotten that in Vacation Bible School. Amen. Go to the 22nd chapter. Very old and familiar passage of Scripture. Amen. And let me read it to you if you don't mind, while it marinates in your heart and your mind. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, he said, behold, here I am. He said, take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him therefore a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, saddled his ass, and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went into the place which God had told him. Then on the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, abide ye here with us, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father. He says, here am I, my son. He said, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. I want to talk about, I want to share with you this morning, whoever God bless, he will test.
Have mercy.
I can tell I got the wrong church in here. Whoever God bless,
Yes, Lord,
he will test. Everybody want a blessing, but nobody want to test it. Whoever God blesses, he will test. Everyone here has come in contact with some professor, teacher, or educator in their life in some sort of capacity. And one of the things that are unique and common to an educator, and particularly a teacher, professor, or instructor, is that the teacher or professor not only informs and instructs and gives instructions for insight on a particular topic, but they also the one who formulates the test. That is a governing document to whether his or her students pass to be able to move to the next level. The same person who gives the teaching is the same person. Wrong crowd. Same ones that give the test. teacher who drafts and constructs the test is usually not doing it to flunk his or her student. But they're doing it to expose the student to see if anything that he or she has taught them is still on the inside of them. The test, this test does not come from a bully or enemy. This test comes from the person who's doing the teaching. It's not just the teacher's responsibility to test the student, it's also the teacher's right and responsibility. Because the test becomes a tool of what he or she has taught to make sure that the student got something on the inside. One of the most dangerous things is to go to teaching and never get anything. The danger of this story that I'm dealing with this morning, for many of you that are believers, you have already set forth in your mind that's Pastor, that's an old and familiar passage. And I want to tell you something, that familiarity breeds contentment. And many times our familiarity of a text sometimes blocks the real core issue of what's happening in the text. Some of you in here right now, you've already blocked me out because you said I read that in Vacation Bible School. Matter of fact, I already know that. You've already set forth in your mind. I know where he's going with that, but the problem with familiarity is that sometimes you can miss the main essence of a story because you already think you know the story. This story is a challenging text or story. And watch this. I know that you got your spirit of silence this morning. But guess what? This text this morning, it is interesting because it's devil free. I wish you y'all want to sit on the front row. Y'all ain't ready. This text is devil free. And the problem in the story, the teacher becomes the test. Stay with it, Johnson. The problem with the text of the story, it introduces a side of God that many of us don't know. And we don't choose to accept. We allow this text to become dormant or in our subconscious. And we struggle with the side of God that is the problem for us. Matter of fact, we struggle with this side because you've been going to church for 75 years, 50 years, 30 years, 20 years, and all they ever told you was God is good. You get happy anytime somebody say he's great. He's wonderful, but the story in this story here, it is this time God ain't so great. I know you ain't gonna play with me this morning. This story is one of those times when God now becomes the problem. Y'all ain't so bullshit, y'all going here. God the problem. And I know you sitting here saying, I ain't coming back to this church no more anytime the pastor saying God the problem. But we learned something. Whenever God decides to test us, and notice he postures, he poses himself as the opposition. And look at you, all they told you was that God always on your side. But I come this morning with a different argument. That sometimes God is the opposition. Let me bless somebody right here. I hadn't planned to get this until later. You don't have to be wrong to have trouble. You ain't got to bother nobody to have some trouble in your life. Can I help you on something? You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be in nobody's house. You can have trouble all by yourself. I want to help you with something. God shows up as the opposition. And faith is easy when you think it's the devil. See, as long as you think it's the devil, you want to tell everybody next to you, I got a God that's on my side. But what happens when it becomes God is the opposition? Can I argue with you? You can't read no scripture. You can't. Guess what? You can't pray no prayer. You don't even have no angel to consult. You don't have no pastor to counsel you when God is the opposition. Because there's nobody greater than God. Come on, Paul, get here with me. How many of you know that there's nobody greater than God? But it's a terrible thing when God becomes your opposition. Because what you do, we're not used to God being against us. See, the average Christian is not sensitive to divine opposition. I wish I had some preachers in here, but I'm waiting until they preach so I can sit down and don't say that. The divine opposition. And the average Christian, he's not sensitive to that. And when we blame everything on the devil. Because Christians have a hankering, we got a knack about taking God off the hook. Because we want to blame everything that we go through on the devil. It just don't feel right when you going through hell to put it on God. That just don't feel, that don't feel Christian. That don't feel too huggy to put it on God. But many times God can be your opposition and it ain't nothing you can do about it. I know I'm taking this text somewhere else, but I'm going to say it. He look at you. I know you want to tell me God is good. And look at you. You got the ending part all the time. And then you want to turn around and say all the time. God is good. And then let me go over here. God is good. All the time. God is good. See, you don't mind want him to do, we okay with that. But when we have to deal with the opposition of the divine, and we'll psychologically replace God with the devil. Our familiarity with the story does not allow us to see what's happening in the story. And let me just label that for a moment. And many times because you understand the story, you already think it in your mind, and God don't bring him out of it. And Lord have mercy. But sometimes God got to keep you in some stuff in order to make you understand that there is a divine contradiction. Let me argue the text since y'all quiet. In verse number 1 in chapter 22, there's 3 words. In verse number 1, it helps us to understand what's happening in chapter 22. Somebody shout chapter 22. It says in chapter 22, verse number 1, he says, after these things, I can tell y'all ain't got no Bible. After these things, and those 3 words open the door to grasp and comprehend a familiar story. After these things, come on, say it with me. After these things, Lord have mercy. Now your question is, Pastor, what things? Let me just argue. You ain't got time to read this. I'll pick you up in a minute. Over in Genesis 21, the first 5 verses in Genesis, guess what? In chapter 21, Abraham now finally reaches and receives his promise. He had been waiting on. Come on, help me here. Y'all remember his wife. Come on, you've been to vacation. Go talk to me here. He got a barren wife, and she miraculously gave birth to a child 25 years later. Lord have mercy. That ain't good enough for you. Let me give you some more then. And guess what? 100-year-old man and a 90-year-old woman talking about having a pair of boots. Talking about having a baby. Come on, help me here. Some of y'all, when you get too old, intimacy ain't even on the You sitting here trying to act like you flourishing when you was 21. Come on, say it, man. You know you ain't doing it like that. Matter of fact, you ain't got it like that. Time of bringing me. I got some ladies in here. You know it won't take but a little bit for you now. I wish I was in the hood preaching. Y'all city slippers. You got a bad wife. 25 years later, gives birth to Isaac. Is his name Abraham? Name got changed from Abram to Abraham. I wish I had somebody read the New Testament, Old Testament. And her name got changed from Sarai to Sarah. Now, that child, Isaac comes on the scene. Isaac named me. You shall laugh. Well, why wouldn't you laugh? He 100. And you name it? Lord have mercy. You're 100 years old going to preach, he ain't me. Just, I gotta go. Jackson, come on. The Bible says in 17th chapter, 17th verse, you got time to read, I'll pick you up. Abraham fell on his face. The Bible says that he laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear this baby? Mother, y'all say amen. Because y'all sitting on that front row talking about, I don't even want to hold a baby. Let's go on have it. I'm going in there. You jump over to Genesis 18, it says that Sarah laughed within herself. Look at her, she talking to herself now. I done waxed old. Shall I have some pleasure? My Lord, I'm old. Tell me, how we gonna handle this? Lord says, Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh? Matter of fact, what she laughing about? Saying, shall I of surety bear a child? Which I am old. The question is asked. We shall have some friends. Is anything too hard for the Lord? The time appointed, I will return unto thee, according to the time of life. And Sarah shall have a son. Oh, that's a promise. I want to pause right here and tell somebody. I know you've been waiting on God a long time. Oh, but I gotta ask you, is there anything too hard for God? I wish I had some believers in here. I want to tell you something. God got the last life by giving them eyes. Now remember that Abraham now has received the promise. And whatever God promised you, he will do what he said he'll do. chapter 21, he's prioritizing his house. His wife, Sarah, got uncomfortable with the swag that was going on. Because Abraham and Hagar had their own child in the same house. And in the 21st century, it would be called a baby and mama drama. Sarah instructed Abraham, what you need to do is cast Hagar in that little bad boy. And when you read 21 and 12, God tells Abraham, this time you need to listen to Sarah. And let me pick up some women in here. It's a sad thing. You can't have too many women in the same house. This thing getting bad in here. It's going to be something going on. And if you got too many women in the same house, all of a sudden Abraham prioritizes the house. And this is, Martin, you love this. This is the first time child support came up. Can I get a witness? Good God from Zion. And let me talk about some men in here. Take care of your children. Let me do it again. Ain't on your road yet, but take care of your children. It ain't grandmama's responsibility. It ain't granddaddy's responsibility. You have take care of them. All right, I can tell I'm trouble, y'all. Don't worry where to go to. So guess what? He closes. All I know about it, you need to know this. He closes in Genesis 21. And guess what? He acquires more property. And his territory begins to expand. Can I get a witness? He is more wealthier because he owns more property. Come on, help me here. Now there are three things you got to understand about chapter 21 before I get out of here. First of all, he gets the promise. And second of all, he prioritizes his house. And the third thing that he does, he owns more property. But when you get to chapter 22, verse number 1, it says, after these things. And let me do it again. In chapter 21, he promised, his promise shows up. And guess what? Number 2, he prioritizes his house. Matter of fact, he got his house in order. I didn't put a pin in there. Before you die, get your house in order. And let me do that again. Before you die, whatever you do, get your business straight. That's what Big Mama was saying. Get your house in order. Set it in order. Lord have mercy. Teach your children how to know Christ in the pardon of their sins. Pray that they be saved. Pray that they know God. pardon their sins. Because time is winding up. Can I get a witness? I don't need to talk about the children. Let me get some of you adults. Get your business fixed. You ain't gonna be here always. Can I get a witness? In verse number 1, chapter 22. I gotta close this thing. Y'all took your summer next. Can I get a witness? He said, after these things. Can y'all talk to me? Repeat it with me. After these things. Remember, in chapter 21, he gets the promise. He prioritizes the house. And he secures more property. And as a season of success, prosperity, posterity, and profit, and the Bible says God tempted Abraham. I wish I had some Bible readers. Let me deal with this word tempt. Tempt means to test. Have you ever noticed soon as God bless you with a job, he sent some devils on that job. Soon as God bless you with a business, he sent some crazy customers. I wish I had some help in here. Lord have mercy. And the season of success, and everything is going your way. God got away tempting you. Things are going well, and finally I got what I've been waiting on. I got my house in order. I got more property. But God waits until you are successful and then turns around and tests you with what he blessed you with. Lord have mercy. If he bless you, he can test you. Can I get a witness? All you babies want a blessing. Anytime I mention blessing, you get happy. But you don't get too happy when I mention testing. And if you get blessed, there's a test that comes with the blessing. God waits until success happened for old Abraham. Come on, deaconess, help me go to church. Because the deacons ain't gonna talk to me. I gotta get out of here. Good God from Zion. So you trained to believe that God will not do some things that you think he'll do. You believe it's always the devil. It ain't always the devil. God knows how to position himself against you. God waits until you get a job just to bother you. Can I get a witness? Let me find a couple babies in here. Ever had any trouble on the job? Wrong church. Lord knows I need to go to Orange Mountain. I need to go to South Memphis with this. You had any trouble with a crazy boss? I have. Come on, help me here. I worked for the devil's daughter before. Come on, help me here. Ain't no sense you looking at me strange. You work for the devil's son. Come on, help me here. Lord, this is getting bad. I gotta get out of here. Joe, this ain't good. Good God from Zion. See, you try to believe that God won't do that. It's always the devil. God knows how to wait until you get a good business deal. And now he comes and interrupts your life. Y'all want to talk to me? He give you the man or the woman that you've been praying for, and you get it. Watch this. Have you noticed how he sends a test right after our wrong church? You get what you've been praying for. You've been here laying at the altar, pleading with God. tearing for the Holy Ghost. Tell my Lord, show up, show out, and do your thing. And God says, okay, I'll give you what you want. But soon as he gives it to you, here comes a test. Hallelujah. And that ain't good enough. You've been sitting around here praying for a child. He give you what you want and turn around and send the biggest test in your life. All right, take your seatbelt off. Let's go to church. I wish I had anybody here ever had to go through the test. Come on, help me here. And that word temp, it means test. And the Bible says, I gotta go. God did test Abraham. And I want to help you with something. If he blesses you, he got a right to test you. If he blesses you, God got a right